Howdy YouTube family, it's Bolt CRNA coming to you again with another day's video. I am back from the dead, not exactly dead, but I've been away from YouTube for a little bit because I've been so busy with school, but I think I have found a way to release videos every Sunday morning, and that is something you can't hold me to, not a guarantee, but I'm going to try and do it every Sunday morning from now on. So today's topic. This is something that I've been big into lately because I'm about to graduate, and we're going to talk about today how you find your first job and what it's like in your first job. Let's get into it. A lot of you have hit me up about this and asked me, how did you get your job? How are you going all these interviews? If you follow me over on Instagram, which it's Bolt SRNA, if you want to go follow me over there. A lot of you already do, but a lot of you have hit me up over there because you've seen on my stories that I upload pretty frequently that I've been out interviewing, I've been flying out places, I've been talking about my interviews and stuff, and a lot of you have been asking, how did you get these interviews? How are you getting these connections? How do I get those connections? I want to have those same opportunities. Those are all really relevant questions. And I'll say it doesn't happen overnight. You don't just snap your fingers and suddenly you have all these job offers and all these opportunities. It's a lot about networking. Networking is very important in anesthesia. You really have to know people, you have to connect with people, you have to get involved. I was involved. My school, every time a new class comes in, they elect a political representative and then they elect a class rep. So the class rep's responsible for all the typical stuff that class reps do. But the political rep thing is a different type of position. It's the person that's supposed to stay active with the political things that are going on with anesthesia. They're supposed to be active with their state's Association of Nurse Anesthetists. They're supposed to go to the annual mid-year assembly, which is the AANA National Anesthesia Conference, where you meet legislators and senators and all those people, and you shake hands and you talk about CRNA political issues and you advocate for them. So it's your job to kind of be involved in those things, and that was the role I was elected into. So by doing that, I of course met lots of other people who were the movers and shakers in the anesthesia world. That's invaluable. If you meet people who are the higher ups, who are pretty much trailblazing the way for the future of anesthesia, these are the people who will be the most connected with everybody in anesthesia. They'll be the ones who know people in California, New York, Florida, Wisconsin, Oregon, wherever you're trying to move to or where you're trying to get a job at. They probably know people. If you go to these things and you get involved and you are professional and you present yourself well, these people that connect with you, they want you to succeed. They want you to get a good position. They want you to go on and do good things because they want you to continue advocating for the field and continue to, be a good colleague with them one day. So, very important, get involved, network. Do not go into anesthesia school if you think you're just going to go in, you're going to study, you're going to go home, and that's it. That's all you got to do. You can do that. There are some students that do that, but those are usually the ones that graduate and they struggle to find a good job, or they settle for a job that they really didn't like, that they hope that maybe in a year they can get out of. It's not something you want to do. You don't want to be in that position where you have to take a lowball offer or a job where they restrict your autonomy or your abilities because you don't have the connections to get into a more desirable position. Because a lot of times the desirable positions are for people who have connections or people with lots of experience who can show on paper that they're very worth the position. As a new grad, you're not going to have any experience. You're bottom of the barrel, so you really have to rely on connections. A lot of you wanted to know if I used a recruiter as well. So when you're looking for a new job, you could use a recruiter. I don't know if you've ever been a travel nurse or maybe done another career field that uses recruiters. Maybe military people might understand this, but recruiters, their whole job is to get you to sign a contract. It is secondary to them if you like the contract, to be honest. It's a business for them. Most of the times your recruiters, in fact, I'd say everyone that I've ever spoken to that were recruiters were not when I was a travel nurse, I worked with recruiters. None of them were RNs. They were all, either they had no degree or they had, communications degree or something like that, but they weren't healthcare related. They really don't know what it's like to be in your shoes or to be put into a position that's not desirable or to be in a job you don't really like. Their job is to make sure you sign that contract because they get a cut off of that if you do. They get money for having you sign. So use your recruiters, wisely if you're going to use them. I did not really use recruiters. A couple of them got a hold of my name because of some applications I'd sent in, and so I was getting contacted by some recruiters, but I very quickly could tell from what they were saying that these were not positions I wanted to take, and these were not people who were that interested in me actually having a wonderful position that meets all the requirements that I had set out there. And then some of them, if you set out all your requirements of what you really want and need, they'll get kind of irritated with you because it shows them that like this person actually wants a good position and wants something that's going to be hard for them to find. And then sometimes they'll leave you alone at that point, if you're lucky. I have not been left alone, and I continue even though I tell them now I have signed a contract and I have a job already and I'm not interested anymore. I still continue to get emails and texts and phone calls. So if you use a recruiter, be aware they will bother you forever apparently. So just be prepared for that if you use one. Another site that a lot of students like to use and CRNAs use sometimes is called gasworks.com. That is a pretty good site for getting you, it's like a shotgun effect of all the anesthesia positions that might be out there in the US. Some of them are not correct, and also again the recruiters like to use this site too, so they'll post a lot of positions on there from their they'll spin it in a pretty serious spin for their wording of what the position is going to represent. And there are some of the recruiters that are notoriously known in the anesthesia community, and I won't say their names here, but they're well known in the anesthesia community that if you ever see a job listing posted by that recruiter, don't even click on it, don't respond to it. It's mostly a lie. You can talk to these people and find out like the salary is completely different from what's listed on the posting, the job description is different from what's listed, the autonomy is totally wrong from what they claim. Just things will be totally different, and they really don't care as long as they can get you to sign a contract and then you get there and realize that it's not what you thought it was going to be. So yeah, using GasWorks is tricky with recruiters. You have to be careful of looking for those. GasWorks also has older listings too, so sometimes you'll click on a listing and you'll realize like this listing was done 6 months ago and they just never took it down, and you'll be interested in the position and contact them and you'll find out the job position's filled. Another thing that GasWorks does a lot is they'll list a salary on there and it'll sound like a really good competitive salary, and you'll send in an application and do all this work and stuff for it, and then you'll find out when you get the final details of the contract or you get more in-depth conversation with the hiring people there that the number they quoted was actually like a liquidated number, where it's like if you liquidated the malpractice insurance that they paid for you, or you liquidated it's like your health insurance benefits. Pretty much if you liquidated all of your benefits or something, then your total overall package would be that amount they quoted, but your actual income that they will pay you salary-wise for working there is like $70,000 less than what they quoted on the website. So you'll find that the numbers are very inaccurate there a lot of times. And you'll also find that some of your best positions that are hard to find and that are going to be the best paying and the best autonomy and all that stuff, they're going to be not listed there. They're going to be known through networking, and those jobs get taken up quickly. Like if a job comes open, there's probably somebody who's a friend of that person, who's the practice owner, knows somebody connected, or somebody in the practice has a fellow SRNA or CRNA they know who will recommend them for a position, and they'll go get the position and it'll never even be posted on GasWorks. So just keep that in mind when you're surfing through GasWorks. We all did it as students, searching GasWorks every single week just for inspiration to keep studying, because those salaries look great and everything looks great. But just know that your very best positions probably won't be on GasWorks. All right, guys, so that was this week's topic. We discussed using recruiters. We talked about how I got interviews and networking and some of the things that you'll need to do to get those good positions and put yourself in a spot when you're in your third year of CRNA school where you're going to have the best positions offered to you. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and that's Bolt out.